I'm running into a lot of like NFC East fans lately.
I run into him every day.
Well, you're up there. I'm over here. All righty. So we are live, baby. Live out of Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Welcome to the Jersey Boys Sports Talk. Today is February 2nd, 2023. The first month of the year has passed us. If you haven't yet, please follow us on all of your social media channels, the Sportscast on YouTube, on Twitter, on Spotify. We are live streaming on Facebook and on YouTube every Thursday at 8 p.m. Also, please download our podcast. If you have Apple, go to your purple little screen on podcast. You see the Jersey Boys sign. You see that. You'll be able to listen to us on the go while you're in the car, stuck in traffic in that beautiful New Jersey traffic and/or Florida traffic. And please leave us a review. It'll help us out tremendously. We are excited today as we're going into the playoffs 1 week. Oh, actually, we're going to the Super Bowl, so we'll get ready to go. Also, when you go to YouTube, hit the notification, subscribe to the Sportscast, and then we have playlists for Jersey Boys Sports Talk, and then we have other sports programs on there as well. We are hosted by Byron Jones and me, Victor Arocho. It's produced by the Sportscast. So, Mr. Byron, I see that the Philly weather wasn't so bad the other day, but it was like 50. It was like 3 degrees in Kansas City.
Yeah, but it did when I was up in the Poconos. It did snow, and it rained and got rid of all the snow. And it's been, not that bad. The 50s. But we're supposed to get like a big cold snap up here. Like I think it's supposed to be like 9 tomorrow.
It's nice and warm here now. Oh man, I'm super happy. I barely need a jacket. It's nice enough too to be able to walk with a long sleeve shirt, but it's not cold that you could feel a little bit of a chill. So it's rather nice here. So, but let's get into the playoffs. All righty. So we got Philly and San Francisco. So I still debate you. You and Eric picked the score. You were right on the score. I don't agree that you were right on the score. I think you just got lucky. So we
35, man.
but let's just talk about that one, right? Okay, so you cannot tell me going into the score that you picked, right, that you were expecting, because the way you and Eric picked the score of being able to just beat them down, right, was them being at full tilt, right?
Yep.
They weren't.
Are you making excuses?
It's not an excuse. It's just weren't at full tilt. It's no different than I gave Philly credit for practically beating the Cowboys with a second string team, right? I mean, they only lost by 1 touchdown. So that was pretty bad for the Cowboys. So I gave Philly credit for playing so well, being down, but you got to take away, you got a 4th string quarterback. One of the key components was with Eric was asking, why do you think, that guy's going to do so great? And our discussion wasn't about that Brock Purdy had it's Brock, right?
Yes.
Brock Purdy doesn't have to do great. He just can't make mistakes. He just cannot make a mistake. And he hasn't. He just got hurt. The quarterback comes in, dude, he drops. You know how we've been talking this year, how everybody's dropping passes, they're dropping interceptions. How does the quarterback drop a snap?
How many snaps do you think he really gets in practice? Because he's a 4th string guy. How many times do you think he's actually back there? Not much.
Dude, okay. So, but Brock Purdy was number 3. He didn't get that many either.
Yeah, but he's been the quarterback for the last 7, 8 games.
But when the first game he started, he didn't have any turnovers.
Yeah, but there's a reason why Josh Johnson has been with 13, 14 different teams. There's a reason why that he's been with that many teams.
All right, so tell me that. How does a guy stay around that long, right? Are you like, because he's getting paid, right?
Yeah.
How does he stay that round that long if he can just drop a fumble like it? What's his name again?
Josh Johnson. We had him on the Giants.
Dude, I have no idea who that guy is.
Yeah, we had him like 3 or 4 years ago. Yeah, we had him. Matter of fact, half the league has had him.
Well, 13 teams, right? It's 1/3.
Yeah.
But it's, you know,
You know why you pick up a guy like that? He's dependable. He's going to pick up your playbook real fast, because he's a veteran, and hopefully he doesn't go out there and make mistakes. But he had, he was out there doing the biggest stage there is, and it might have been way too much for him because that ball did hit him right smack in the hands. Then he had about 2 or 3 delayed games. So but you can't blame him because he's a 4th-string quarterback. He probably never expected to play. He probably was sitting on the sideline, let me go ahead and eat the hot dog and give me something to drink or whatever. I'm never going to get out there. But, it is what it is. He's a professional like everybody else out there.
14 teams in 15 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And he has, hold on a second. I got something. He's earned over $8 million as a backup. He has never been a full-time starting NFL.
Nope.
But that doesn't mean that he hasn't contributed to team success, and only that such contributes back as a backup role. But he's earning like $1 million a year. I mean, he's making a good living. I mean, he's not making these other money, but dude, you're making $250,000 or more a year. You're making some serious money.
And he's way past 250,000.
Yeah, he's making $1 million a year, yeah. but that. First of all, the first touchdown the Philadelphia got, Philadelphia was smart and they called the play real quick. And that guy, I thought that was an incredible catch. When we were coming back in the car from golfing, and I thought the catch was good. I didn't see the other side of it, but then that was not a catch and gave him 7 points. So now you give him 7 points. Number one, okay, no big deal because they did drive pretty well, but there was a 4th down that hey, that was worth going for because it was on the other side of the field, right? And your defense is way better against a 3rd-string quarterback that you thought at the time. So that's 1. That's 7 points right there. Okay. And then this guy fumbles a snap. I don't care how many snaps you get. You're a quarterback, dude. How can you drop that ball and then lose it? Right? They scored another touchdown on that. There's your 14 points.
Game over.
There's the 14 points, right? Because if you look at the first half, after they scored that first touchdown, that shouldn't have been a touchdown. And look, I already picked Philly, right? So that first half, that defense is locked down on them. I mean, the defense for San Francisco locked down on Philly in that first half. They really did. So if they didn't score, it would be a 0-0 game, right? But then this kid gets hurt and bang, you get a turnover like that. So, I guess my just debate is, okay, you got it. You picked the score, but I do not believe that. I don't believe that they dominated them like they beat down the Giants. I mean, they beat us down. I mean,
they beat down San Francisco too. That defense got tired. They were out there a lot.
Oh, dude, when you have the guy was just handing off the ball, man. They weren't going to throw the ball.
Hey, they're professional. I think they were talking about they had a kid on one of the receivers was a quarterback in college. And they were wondering, I think Johnson, I can't remember the kid's name.
We're going to put McCaffrey in.
No, it was another one. No, but there was another one that's a receiver that they're thinking about. He wouldn't even approach it as far as going out there to play quarterback, but he played quarterback in college, one of the receivers for the 49ers.
I would have put McCaffrey in. Run the Wildcat.
That's pretty much what they did with a quarterback back there.
No, they didn't because the quarterback didn't run.
No, all he could do was hand off, though.
Yeah, that's a problem against a defense like the Philadelphia, right? It was just, it was terrible, man. I mean, and, what do you think? Well, so that was just terrible, man. It was a terrible game. I mean, it was
a terrible game, man.
It was just terrible for me. It was a terrible game.
You know why it's terrible? Because you upset that we picked the number and we knew that they were going to get beat down like that.
No, I was upset because I wanted come on, man. It's the game, it's the championship game. You want to see a good game, right? And you didn't want to, and if you're going to beat them down, beat me down at full tilt, right? With this kid, I want to see what this kid was going to do against Philadelphia. Still think Philadelphia would win. I just want to see what this kid was going to do up until that point, because technically he's still undefeated because he came out of the game, right? But I wanted to see what he was going to do. That was it. So it was terrible game, number one. I'll give you and Eric the honors of picking that, but I just don't believe that if they had Purdy in, I think they still would have lost. I just don't think it would have been as bad as it ended up looking like. It was terrible. Terrible. I don't know why they didn't go to McCaffrey and then do something different, because that guy was terrible, man.
What was he going to do besides line up at the the Wildcat and just run it right, run it left, run it? They couldn't run the ball against. They had 8 in the box. If you watch where they were, they had 4 linemen across the front, and they had everybody. The only people that stayed where they were the corners and one.
Because they knew they couldn't throw the ball. That's the reason.
Yeah.
But if McCaffrey's in there, you got an extra running back, dude. Like, in other words, that other guy was really, it was 11 on 10. That guy really couldn't do anything else. Couldn't throw, and he could only hand off. That's not the same as the ability to run, right? Like, because McCaffrey could run. Because McCaffrey, that's first score that McCaffrey had that tied the game. That was a killer run, dude. That was all him. But that was you even stated it. That's a good run. It was a good run. But he's not that big of a guy.
No, but besides that, they didn't run the ball on them at all. They could not run the ball on them.
Well, if you can't pass, it's kind of hard to run. And if you can't run, it's hard to pass. So, you need both. But I just thought it was a terrible game. Jaylen Brown, props up to Jaylen Brown, right? The team runs as he runs. That first half, they shut them down.
You're killing his name. Come on, Jalen Hurts, man.
Jalen Hurts.
Brown is the wide receiver.
That's AJ Brown.
Yeah.
But hey, I'm happy in there. I picked Kansas City. You picked the Bengals, though.
And if it wouldn't have been for that bonehead play with that linebacker, it would have been okay.
Let me tell you something. I thought, as much as I picked Kansas City, I still thought they were going to lose again. They kept them in the game.
Are you skipping games again?
What? Okay. Well, we were going. I mean, what else we want to talk about? Okay, continue about Philadelphia. What else we want to talk about that game?
What else about Philadelphia?
It stunk. The game stunk. It was a terrible first half. The second half was terrible.
If you notice that Jalen really didn't throw for a lot of yardage. Yeah, and that's kind of concerning because the last 2 games, even when he played the Giants, he really didn't throw the ball a lot. They've been running the ball, down people's throat. So that might be something to think about because maybe he's still a little hurt. Maybe
they said he's still hurt. That's why I told you. Remember, we wanted to get at him, right? But they said he's still a little hurt, but he still threw the ball pretty. That pass he threw to who was it? To Devontae Smith that he had dropped the ball was a good was a long throw, bro. And it was a good and it was a good pass. I mean, it was
but he's only thrown for like 125 yards probably each game. That's it. Yeah. It's not much.
Well, if you don't have to and you're winning, but he's been running, what's he running for?
He's not running it as much as he used to before. He ran a little bit more this game, but he didn't, the Giants, he didn't run, he just had for the sideline to slide or whatever. But, this game, he was a little bit more physical running with the ball.
Yeah, but this game, they were piling on him. They were trying to get at him, let me tell you. They were doing what you said to do, right? Stay on top of him, hit him.
Stay on him a little bit, put all your weight.
Pile up a little bit that you could do. And then just the other thing is San Francisco, how many penalties? I mean, the kicking penalty, the punt, what do you call it? Roughing the punter. I mean, it was just, you kept handing it over to in a playoff game. That was such an undisciplined game.
Yeah, but they're usually not like that.
No, I understand that, but that's not the time to mess up.
Yeah, but when you say it's so lopsided, when you got Philadelphia, I'm not pointing fingers. When you got Philadelphia's got 3 and they got 11, halfway through, the third quarter, Shanahan was losing his mind. as far as like some, he was pissed. Some of them calls, it was like, really, you gonna call that? It was like, come on. Some of it was like the roughing the passer, roughing the running to the kicker thing. You got blocked. He was getting blocked and hit him, and then they called the 15-yard one instead of the 5-yard.
And they got a first down. They had got the ball back.
Yeah, but it is what it is. The quarterback, got hurt. The other guy got hurt too with a concussion or whatever was wrong with him, and it just wasn't their day.
It was definitely not their day. It was terrible. It was a terrible game, and I still didn't think that Philly dominated that game. To me, they dominated the Giants. They didn't dominate that game. The second half, they took over because now, you're playing against a skeleton crew. But for the most part, San Francisco's defense came to play in the first half. They were keeping them in there. But outside of that, penalties after penalties after penalties, bro. It was terrible. Terrible.
Then what Philadelphia run, they're running the ball now. They're being out there a little extra now, San Francisco, because things are working out with offense. They're not getting the break. And eventually, enough is enough. When you're out there, 50, 60, 65 plays or whatever, that wears on you, after a while, especially if you don't have the depth, like other teams have, which they do. But it was a bit much.
But hold on, San Fran. But also, it also wears on you in the fact that because defensive wise, sometimes you think you got to make something happen. Hence, like on special teams, right? Versus Eagles. So that wears on you, right? Knowing the fact that if we don't do something, our offense isn't going to do anything, right? Well, so mentally, you're playing in a different,
Yeah, but when you got on the other side, you got Philadelphia running the ball well. And, you got these 300 and 340-pound guys are pounding on you over and over and over. And, then when you go to the sideline, you're sitting there 30 seconds, we got to go back out here again. And then you got to go back out. And that's a lot. That's a lot being a defensive lineman, man. You're sucking the air, man. You're trying to get some oxygen. It's hot. And it's a lot.
Okay, so look at this, dude. But look at these are the stats of the game. Okay, so the total yards was only 100 yards more. Philadelphia only had 100 yards, total yards more than the 49ers. Okay, their rushing yards were 148, Eagles to 81. Okay, passing yards was only 121, like you had stated, versus 60, versus 83. But their yards per play was 3.8 for the Philly, 3.6 for 49ers. But look at this, 25 first downs versus 11.
Yeah.
Okay.
And penalties. How many penalties were?
Okay, they were 5 for 15. So they were 30%, right? 33% on third down efficiency. And 49ers were 25%.
That's not penalties up.
Fourth down efficiency, 3 for 3, 0 for 2, total plays. Look at this, total plays. So think about it. The total yardage was only 100 yards, but they had 25 more first downs, and they ran 70 plays versus the 49ers 45.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's
a lot to be out there.
They got San Francisco had 3 sacks versus Philly allowed 1. It's weird. The punts were equal. So they didn't punt. They were just constant. The penalties, 11 penalties for 81 yards versus 4 for 34. But of those 11 penalties, how many of those gave the ball back to Philly?
At least 5 of them.
And that's a lot of extra possessions. Would you agree?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you could have 11 penalties and 150 yards, right? But if it wasn't affecting, like, if it was 3rd and 19 and you got a 5-yard penalty or penalty that didn't incur an automatic first down, makes a difference. But 25 first downs versus 11,
that's a lot.
70 plays versus 45. That means most of those penalties were as a result of providing the ball back to the other team.
Yep.
Right? You had here, let's see, interceptions,
None.
0. But look at fumbles lost, 3. So not only did you have penalties that gave them first downs, you also gave them the ball 3 times. So right there, that 25 goes down to 22. And then how many penalties? If you said it was 5, right? That goes back down to 17. I mean, and that changes the number of plays, right? Time of possession. And that's here. Look at this. This is what you had said at time. 37 and a half minutes versus 22 and a half minutes.
That wears on you.
Dude, that's an entire quarter.
Yes.
So literally they had the ball for a full quarter
or a half.
more. Huh?
Half.
What do you mean half?
Well, quarter is 15 minutes.
Okay, so what's 37 minus 22, dude? 15.
What? What's 15 and 15? What's 15 and 15?
What?
What's 15 and 15?
30.
Okay.
So what are you talking about? You said half a quarter.
No, I said a half.
A full half?
Yeah.
No, it's just
15-minute quarters.
It was only a quarter. But still, that's a quarter. I mean, so for 25% of the game, pretty much you never had the ball. Right? 37 minutes they had versus 22 minutes. That's a full quarter.
Okay. All right. Let's fix this real quick.
Yeah.
How many minutes are in a quarter?
15.
And you're saying they had the ball for 37 minutes, right?
Right.
So wouldn't that be?
No, but I'm saying 30. Yeah. Okay. So timeout. But you got okay. So we're looking at we're talking 2 different things. So let's make sure you're clear what I'm saying. They had the ball for 37 minutes. 49ers had the ball for 22 minutes. So they had the ball for 15 minutes more than the 49ers. So pretty much they had the ball for an entire quarter the whole time. Right? So, so that's it.
No.
Why? How do you see it? Tell me what you're saying. You're saying 37 minutes they had the ball, so they had the ball for what? For 2 quarters.
2 quarters, that's 2 quarters. That's half the game. They had the ball for half the game and 7 minutes.
They had the ball for half the game in 7 minutes, right?
And I feel better now.
And now, okay, good. It's one,
I feel better now.
One hand, it's the same thing.
But I just feel better now.
Yeah, but what I'm saying to you is the fact that they had the ball for a full quarter is what allowed them to have more plays, more first downs, more everything, right? And then the penalties. So it was just terrible. It was a bad game. I mean, that's a long time to have the ball.
It wasn't a bad game.
It was terrible.
The only thing good about it is that D'Amico Ryan's the coordinator for the 49ers got a job now.
Where?
Houston Texans. That's where he played. He played there. His wife is from the area, so that's good for him. He's gonna get. They got a lot of draft picks. They got money. He'll be all right. He'll be just fine.
Okay.
It's a terrible organization, but he'll be okay.
He's the 4th black coach, correct?
Cully, Lovey, and the 3rd.
Okay, and each one of them got fired in a year, right?
He's got a 6-year contract, so he's not getting fired in a year.
Oh, the other guys didn't have a contract?
Yeah, they had a contract, but he got a 6-year one. He'll be all right. I'm sure they don't want to pay these guys all this money to sit home. Wow. They'll get more than a year out of them.
So pretty much next year they're paying for 3 head coaches.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's crazy, man. I wish him luck. I want him to do well. I don't like the Houston organization. I don't like what they did to Lovie Smith. I just, just the whole
David Culley too, the other guy.
Everybody. So I wish him the best of luck.
And the other thing, we're gonna jump up and down and say, guess where he went to college? Come on,
Tulsa.
Oh, come on. Our favorite guy, Justin. Where do you think
he went to? Oh, he went to Alabama.
The Alabama guy.
Oh, finally. So he's the first Alabama coach?
Nah, there's been other ones from Alabama, but yeah.
Oh, man. Well,
but yeah, he's an Alabama guy. He's pretty good, too.
Yeah, I like the guy. I think he does. What is he, the defense coordinator?
Yep.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, look at the defense that he built over there. So,
Yes, and hopefully he could do the same thing in Houston.
yeah, I seeing is believing. I just don't like Houston at all. Everything I've seen there has just been bad. All right, let's get to a game that was decent. Let me tell you something. I don't know what it is with Kansas City, but they just seem to not be able to put away. I picked the Kansas City. I just didn't think that they were going to be able to beat Mahomes and Reed um, 4 times in a row. I mean, I just couldn't see it. Number one. Number two, I thought they were going to lose that game because they just were just constantly letting them back in the game. And I thought they were going to lose by 3. It was getting that close. And let me tell you, Burrows threw some incredible passes. Incredible passes. But, Kansas City prevailed. I thought that was a good game. But I'm telling you, I wasn't sure which way that was going to go.
Well, the same thing we've been talking about with Cincinnati the last 2 years. And what is it? Their offensive line let them down again.
Oh,
I think he got sacked about 5 games.
4 times in the first half.
Yeah. And Chris Jones, the big defensive tackle for the Kansas City Chiefs, basically took over the game because they didn't have anybody that could block him. And he showed up and, he had 2 of those sacks. Just as a side note, they need to get some help for him on the offensive line because they're going to get him killed back there. All the times he get hit. He's a great player. He made great plays with Chase and T. Higgins, the pass he made to him, but hopefully he'll end up with the Giants. That's another story. But yeah, they're good. But if the linebacker hadn't made the bonehead play at the end, who knows what would have happened?
Yeah, that was terrible.
That
That was the one. What was that? That was the one he roughed the passer, or
when he was running out of, when he was clearly out of bounds and he pushed him anyway.
Oh my God!
Don't you know not to touch the quarterback? And once he
just anybody, you should have touched anybody. They're out of bounds already.
Especially the quarterback.
So here's the stats in this game: 357 total yards versus 309. That's pretty close, right? Passing yards, 315 versus 238. Rushing yards, neither team has a rushing game. 42 yards, 71. Yards per play, 5.4, 4.9. Pretty close. But again, first downs, look at this. And the funny part, look how close this was, right? You had 23 first downs versus 18. Efficiency, third down efficiency, 50%. The other one was a little less than 50%. 50% for Kansas City, a little less for close though for the Bengals. Fourth down, 1 for 1, 1 for 1. Total plays, 66 versus 63. I mean, this was a close game. Sacks allowed, 5 sacks for the Bengals, 4 in the first half, and then 3. Mahomes got sacked 3 times. That's a little scary, especially coming against Philadelphia's. They both punted 4 times. Passing yards, penalties, 9 for 71. The Bengals.
I wonder why.
But the Chiefs also made mistakes. 4 for 55. They were doing some dumb stuff too. Yeah. Fumbles lost. The Chiefs lost 1. Bengals didn't lose any. Interceptions thrown. He threw 2 interceptions. That kind of hurt. And time of possession was only maybe a 5-6 minute difference. So
they're evenly matched. Look at all the games they played. I think all of them are like within 3 points that they've lost. The Chiefs playing the Bengals, so they're evenly matched. And that's just whoever makes the least amount of mistakes or whoever has the ball last play the game is going to win that game. That's just the way it's been.
Well, the Bengals had a chance to come back. They had the ball at the end, but they threw for combined. They both threw over 40 attempts, so 80 something pass attempts between the 2 quarterbacks.
It was good weather. Good weather for Kansas City. Throw the ball.
I mean, it was like 3 degrees. I think it was. It was really cold. Let's see, Burrows. T. Higgins, Jamar Chase had 75 yards. T. Higgins had 83.
And that big touchdown pass he caught over the guy in the corner.
Who?
He had a big catch for a touchdown, T. Higgins in the corner. Like
Yeah.
He jumped over that guy. That's again, we need to keep an eye on him for the New York Football Giants.
Why?
Why not?
Well, you think why is he going to be a free agent?
No, he's going to be as far as trading for him. He's 24 years old. He's been playing with them 3 years. Has over 3,000 yards in receiving. 6'4", 215 pounds, and he's a Clemson player, and he's a player. You know, everybody says that, you know, because they have Chase Young, no, not Chase, but Jamar Chase, you know, on the other side, that this guy is not a true number one. On another team, yeah, he would be a number one and not going to be able to pay. But you figure next year you're going to have to be able to pay Burrow, Chase, Boyd, Mixon. They got a bunch of guys. And Cincinnati has been known to be a little cheap with the money.
Oh, really? Well, I mean,
because you figure like Burrow, if what's his name got 230 million, Deshaun Watson, what do you think they got to pay Joe Burrow?
It's coming up now.
Yeah, next year. What do you think? They gave him 230, and Watson hasn't done anything, and this kid, you know, has been near the Super Bowl twice. What do you think they're gonna have to give him
in his first 3 years?
Yes. So if Watson's worth 230, what do you got to give him?
Oh my God. The challenge the challenge with that's going to be is how do you man, I think you're right, but they need work. They need offensive line, man. They need to do something. There's just no way. Let me see. There's no way.
The three they had were hurt. That was the problem. They got hurt right before the playoffs. They were playing. They played, you know, pretty much together the whole year, except for the last couple, you know, 2 or 3 weeks when they got hurt.
I understand, but let me see. I'm trying to just get to the just Bengals in general. It's not giving me like the stats for the players. Burrow. I just want to see, you know, how many times did he get sacked?
Like 4 or 5 times
this year.
Oh, this year is a lot.
Let's see, Burrow stats in here.
I think they said the last year or so, 92 was the number I saw, like over the last couple of years. You figure they got him, but last year was like 70 or whatever that number was. So right. I'm sure it's close to 90 or 100.
Well, last year was just 70 alone.
Yeah, and then whatever they got, I think it might be 92. He was sacked this year.
92 times this year? So he got sacked more than he did?
I'm saying, no, over the last couple of years. Okay. They need to fix the line before they get the poor guy hurt again.
Something's
Are you
wrong.
Still looking?
Yeah, because it's something's wrong with these numbers then. Because I could swear he got sacked 70 times last year. Did he get sacked 70 times last year?
Last year he was sacked 41.
Yeah, that's what it says here. But the numbers they were saying on TV was 70. It was like 50 during regular season, 20 just in the playoffs. So here it says 41, 51, 32. He's got sacked 124 times.
They're saying he's been sacked a whopping 71 times during the entire 2022 regular and playoffs.
That's 22. Right. So why is it only showing 41?
Then last year he was sacked. The year before was 51 times. Dang, good grief.
Right.
What we need to do, they need to fix the line first because they're going to get him hurt back there because that's crazy. That's a lot.
Oh yeah, he's getting sacked. I mean, yeah, that's a lot.
But
It's a lot. I mean, but I think these numbers are not. They're off because it's either not counting playoffs. It's not something's wrong.
they're gonna have to, but again, they're gonna pay the kid. They have to. Well, they don't have to do anything, but yeah, either pay him and then fix the line first and pay him because they can franchise tag him for a couple years. But they got to fix a line. That's it. He's a great talent. You don't want to see him, get hurt, messing around, with a 50 cent, line. You got a Lamborghini back there. Don't put bicycles in front of him.
And he's still, one bad play from being back to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yep.
Against, playing in Kansas City against a bona fide superstar, Patrick Mahomes, right? But man, they got to do something there. I mean, we've said it before, the line. Imagine still being, and some of the passes he threw were just really incredible. Where he placed them, the ability to place those passes. I mean, that's just amazing what that kid's been able to do. And Jamar Chase is also, but Jamar didn't score a touchdown. That's the one thing that probably hurt him too, right? You got to go, you got to go in there and score. And the Philadelphia, they're pretty rounded. I mean, other than the passing, and we'll see what happens. He's got a couple weeks to rest and do what he needs to do. But he's got good receivers. He's got everything he needs. I mean, Philadelphia's got everything they need. There's no reason they shouldn't win the Super Bowl.
But anyway, let's get to the important part of the whole day. You know what the important part is. Why don't you let everybody know about your guy, man? Quit. He retired finally.
He didn't quit. He retired.
Quit, retired.
Quitting and retire. Okay. Sorry. All right. So then we got to end with the Super Bowl, though.
No, we got next week. They don't play until the 12th.
Oh, that's true. Okay. So Brady is retiring. But remember, last time it took him how many months? It took him 45 days?
Yeah, about
45 days, right? And so it's a little sad for me to see, but it's been a long time. I don't like the way I saw him playing. You know what I mean? And that's it. I don't know what else he wanted to do, but I know he was mentioning. Earlier he wanted to try the CFL. He wanted,
Dude, he's got a contract for Fox, 10 years, $375 million. Really, man, ain't no way he going to play nowhere. Yeah, let me go ahead and get this money with Fox. $375 million in 10 years.
Yeah. I mean,
that's all he's going to be doing.
What a way to retire, huh? Because he's, because he still gets his football pension.
And he doesn't get that till later.
When did you get the football pension?
Like 55.
So you get football pensions don't kick in until you're 55.
Yes.
Oh, really? Oh, so that's what hurts some players. Even if
you can do like some of them where you can take some of the money out like a 401, but you can.
You get
be heavily taxed. You can take some of it out, but but it's 55 and doesn't kick into it. Then you don't have any insurance. You have insurance for 5 years, I think. It's like 5 years, and then that's it.
Are you sure? No, it changed because you've been out longer. I'm pretty sure, bro. My buddy who passed away with Kansas City, he was on the NFL Players Association. I think they got now insurance for life. But I could be wrong. But what he was telling me, it's what did he say it was? A lot of it was for like the extremities. It was just something like it didn't really cover like certain things that they really need the health for. You know what I mean? Yeah, they had covered. So in other words, because we were, I was trying to see if we could do something from insurance from, one of the big reinsurers to say, okay, how do you do this for the NFL players, right? But he says it covers, I forgot what it covers, but it was limited in what it covered.
Yeah, right? Because you figure if you're going to have a guy, you would know this, a guy that played 10 years in NFL, 5 knee surgeries and shoulder, and he's got all kind of issues going on. I'm sure the insurance rate is going to be kind of high, if they can even get insurance, because if you figure they're going to be a high risk.
Yeah. Probably health insurance. Yeah, but I forgot what it was. It was something that it covered. It just didn't cover everything, right? How much health insurance?
So he
Earned
so when are you
benefits.
gonna go play golf with Tom? And so you guys could, yeah, you can hang out all day long.
Yeah, but no, so you absent from most of it is a lifetime health care or anything there's it was just contrary to what you may expect. The reason for that is nothing to do with the owners. No lifetime. Do players have? Well, I don't want to get into that. So Tom is getting prepared to do announcing. He's going to probably be around during the Super Bowl,
Well, they probably show him during the Super Bowl, but because they were talking about that today, that he's not going to be one of the announcers because he basically knocked the other guy out the box. Greg Olson, the one that's been doing the games on Fox, the number one spot. He's going to be moved to number 2, and Tom's getting number 1.
So yeah, so is he replacing somebody or is he?
Put it this way: Greg Olson, a New Jersey kid, just so you know,
And he's a Dallas Cowboy, right?
he played for the Panthers. Come on, man.
Oh
He
yeah, that's right.
he was
And he was University of Miami.
yeah. He's gonna New Jersey guy from, I think, up north, Hillsborough. He's a temporary guy, holding down the fort for a minute. And once Tom retires, supposedly that's the spot that he's getting.
Who's the other guy that announces with him?
Buck, I don't know. Not Buck, but I don't even know.
Not Joe Buck is with Troy Aikman. Eric, by the way, welcome to the show, Jersey Boy Sports. Eric, we wonder if you're coming down.
Hey, what's going on, guys? How y'all doing?
Congratulations with the
That's totally completely my fault. The time got past me. I was helping coaching the kids out, and I volunteer coach along with Coach Byron, and I got caught up in that. But I was trying to hurry home so I can look at your face and have a conversation about that game that just passed. Who knew? I was thinking about the game as I'm sitting there watching the game. I was like, I cannot wait to hear the Jersey boys talk about what they saw and how they feel about it. It was a guy that took a shot at Nick Sirianni today on one of those Monday morning shows on the NFL Network.
I heard that.
You know what? The disrespect is real, man. It's out there right now, and we're feeling it. We understand what's going on. But at the end of the day,
it's kind of stupid for them to take a shot at a coach that could do something like that. I don't.
I think he got baited into it, but sometimes as a professional, you just can't. You just say, you just fall in line and just say, hey, let's move on to something else. But I wasn't here to hear your thoughts and how you felt, sir. But what I want to do is just because I talked to Coach Byron, I want to hear where you're coming from, looking at what you saw, how you feel, what you think about the Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl or I'm confused. What's your question? The Super Bowl?
Not the 49ers game. We passed that. Everything that could go wrong went wrong in that game for the 49ers.
Right.
But then in the same breath, you have to respect the game. Is that correct? Like at the end of the day, you got to respect the game. It's not our fault that the quarterback, both of the quarterbacks went down. It is to the fault, for me at least, it is to the fault of the head coach not planning correctly to not block one of the best defensive ends in the game right now. With a tight end that probably hasn't played since Little League, maybe. I'm disrespecting him, my bad. But you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, but that injury is just like what happened with that poor guy DeMar. Like that's a freak accident. I mean, because you know how many times quarterbacks get hit in the
I'm not talking about the accident. I'm talking about the fact that the way that they game plan. Where in their mind did they think that was going to be okay to put that tight end on Hassan Reddick, who has over 10 sacks going on? He's in the teens now.
Yeah, 16.
You said, okay, we're gonna put this guy on him and he's gonna block him and it's gonna be cool.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Then it actually happened twice, almost on the same play. Ndamukong Suh comes out of nowhere and trashed the backup quarterback to that. Like, come on. What's going on, man? Like that's poor planning. I feel that coach set them up to take that fall. Which
I don't know what he was thinking, and I think that that everything could possibly go wrong went wrong there. I mean, just that was they were just it just was a fiasco. Right?
yeah,
So
like I said, I'm not here to harp about that. We're past that.
So congratulations on the Philadelphia Eagles.
Thank
And
you.
wait, before you came on, second Byron was wanted to talk something else. Oh, Brady. What do you? Oh, so we were
How
talking
do I
about
feel
Brady.
about Brady?
Yeah, Brady retiring. And by the way, Greg also doesn't do that good of a job as an announcer, though. I'm not.
He is pretty good announcer. He's not that bad. You ever listen to Tom Brady talk? He's going to be awful. I'm telling you, man, he's going to be
We'll see.
No,
awful.
he might change it up. He might change it up because he got to show personality.
Troy Aikman is good.
I love Troy Aikman. I love him.
And Troy Aikman is objective. Like
No, no, he's not.
I think
not when it comes down to Dallas games.
I think he's objective. Okay, it's just everybody's entitled opinion. Number one, but number two, I think he knows the game. I mean, he really, he's going to call somebody out. I like Troy Aikman as an.
Well, then it sounds like to me you might like Tony Romo then.
As an announcer.
Yes,
he's pretty good. He's good.
I like Tony Romo too. Yeah,
to me, I feel like he tells the play. He's colorful in the way that he illustrates the plays, but he's just telling the play. You might as well not even watch it.
My favorite is Peyton and Eli.
That's they always those guys off the chain.
They're awesome. Like I never
who knew Eli was that funny? Like who knew?
Yeah, and he could take it pretty good because his brother's always giving him crap.
Oh, his brother's always giving him one.
He's always giving him crap, right? But I like those guys. So Brady, we'll see what happens. I don't think they're gonna pay him 10 years, $3 million. I don't think he's gonna do a good job.
375 million. Get it right. 300.
So he's right. Well, he's right off the field, right to the TV.
Yeah, dude. He had it last year too.
On what channel?
The second he would have retired, he would have. Yeah.
He was with Fox?
Yeah.
Ooh, they trying hard to replace John Madden and Pat Summerall.
Ooh. Yeah.
They can't replace them with them guys.
Yeah, they've been trying, though. They've been trying really hard.
Them Madden and Summerall were the best.
Yeah. Yeah, especially Madden invented all the drawing on the lines. Just think about all the technology that we have today. He was doing it on just paper, So
don't forget the turducken for Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
that's right. That's turducken. That's
and all the little noises that he make. While he calling the play out. You got to hit him here, you got to hit him there. Then poof, you hit him that like that. Like Madden. Yeah, he's definitely one of those great old pastors that's very much.
I think Brady. The one thing I love about the Mannings, right, is like. It's just a different type of commenting. They're able to call, like they could see the plays happening, what's going on, like as former quarterbacks, you know what I mean? And I just enjoy watching what they're setting up. I mean, and I love Peyton's face. It's like, remember, time out. You're like, what is he doing? What kind of clock management are they doing? So I really enjoy that. I think Brady would have done a better job there.
Do you think Peyton would be a great coach?
No.
I don't think.
With all the knowledge that he has, as far as quarterback and at least a quarterback coach.
Yeah, well, of course he's going to be he's a great he would be a great quarterback coach. They have the Eli Manning camp that like some of these guys that are pros still go.
I know Jalen Hurts attended. I know he attended.
So they're going to be great coaches. But he makes way more money not having to do that and deal with prima donna players. Think about it. Manning is in so many commercials. He brings people into commercials. I mean, so it's a lot more better money and less dealing with attitudes
less
and
stress.
There's no reason. And their show, they got just re-signed again, and it's really exploding. I mean, they weren't expecting it to be so.
Oh no. You know whose show is exploding? And I asked Coach about it. The Kelsey brothers. They got a nice show going.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man, you got to check it out.
It's a podcast?
Yeah, Travis and his brother Jason. Yeah, they're pretty funny too.
Yeah,
really interesting.
Oh yeah, they're funny.
So it's the Kelsey brothers. It's a podcast though.
Yes. I forgot the name of it. I forgot the name exactly, but you can pull it up. But it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
And they're talking about world things and, past recent things, just as close as the 49ers after they beat them. They were talking about the on-field things that happened on the field, like actual real time. And, different conversations that they would normally keep amongst themselves. I mean, it's not nothing revealing. It's just more of just giving you the inside look of how NFL players talk amongst each other, trash talk. Uh, Actually, Jason Kelsey at one point said, hey, man, I kind of felt sorry for the 49ers at one point when they got both of the quarterbacks knocked out. Like, what are we really doing here? Like, is this really how we going to get to the Super Bowl? And he's like, should I feel sorry for him? Yeah, I feel sorry for him. But at the end of the day,
that shows you he's how long a veteran he is too, right? Because
yeah, he long in the tooth.
14 years.
He's definitely long in the tooth.
Yeah, so I mean, he's just at that point, he's like, they ain't got a shot. So, but with the Super Bowl coming up, and I know you wanted to bring that up. We got a few minutes left.
Yeah,
I can't imagine Philadelphia not winning the Super Bowl. Kansas City has no run game, and Philadelphia has every component they need.
They have a form of a run game called Patrick Mahomes, where he can throw the ball all types of different awkward ways. Andy Reid is always going to come with the screen game because he also knows that his offensive line is not up to what the defense may be bringing. But I also can say this. I don't think the game will be tight, but it'll be a nice game.
You know what they did say that did you know this, Byron? The Philadelphia, the Kansas City Chiefs are like one of the highest ranked teams to throw passes to their running backs. I forgot what the number, and Philadelphia is ranked 31st in defense against running backs as receivers. So that's gonna be a mix they're gonna either have to work on or be prepared for. That's the only thing they got a shot at, because real running, they don't have a running game.
But the thing with the Eagles is they sit in the zone. I still don't understand how people didn't notice that. Like, we let our 5 go the whole time, and they just sit in zones, quarter zones. They sit in high cover 3. Never sat in the cover 2 yet. Like, so I'm just like, how the hell don't nobody understand what's going on? And then
they'll put 8 in the box though.
Yeah, but the defense that they run in at times is a 4-2-5. And sometimes they'll bring down the not the strong safety, the free safety to play the slot in a high cover 3.
Yeah, they were because they just didn't think they could pass on them, right? So they figured they could run.
Yeah, because remember
we were talking about
a
couple weeks ago when you were on. I said those 2 seconds make a big difference depending on
every second
a quarterback, right? So when you got good defensive backs like Philadelphia, and you got a good rush, you don't really, they're rushing with 4 is enough because they can cover. You're not gonna. They didn't had any confidence in these guys running or passing. There's nothing 49ers could have done.
The problem that a lot of people not paying attention to is not the first 4 that you see. It's the backups. If the backups, I was told, if the backups as good as the starters, it don't matter, because at the end of the day, those players, which would be the offensive line, they're going to wear down. The Eagles got a strong 8 defensive linemen that could start damn near on any team if they wanted to. And they got a nerve not to be tired, because you and I know, if your backup is good as you are and he's pushing you in practice and coach say, hey, I got 20 plays for you, you're going to go balls to the wall to make sure that you showing off so that way you can keep your starting spot. Well, that's what they do with them. They cut their plays in half to a certain extent. Say, hey, you got 15 plays to do what you need to do. If you can't do it in that 15 plays, then the guy behind you, he's jumping out in front of you in series. And they just send waves and waves and waves. That's how they've been beating guys.
It also I know if I was a player, because, when I played, you were always scared to get taken out. You didn't know if you can get back in, right? But if you going into a game plan that, I can go full tilt and I can ask for a breather to come out and know that I'm going to get put right back in, man, that makes your whole game, your mental state play at a high level. right? Knowing that, hey, I'm going to go ball, like you said, balls to the wall, even the second team, but even the first stringer, right? He's going to go
Yeah.
balls to the wall because he's going to get his break. You know what I
I
mean?
think, and
They're
another
going to
thing
put him in
too.
and nobody's going to take my position. I
Let
don't
me
have to worry
let me
about
ask
that.
you a question. Is it cool to say, because the way that the Eagles play, and they're old school, like maybe back when you guys played, where big guys beat up little guys, and at the end of the day, what I was told was all that lifting weights and all that shit cute, but if you got technique, technique wins the day all the time, and it got to be precise and it got to be on point where it never get out of play. And I feel like that's what the Eagles are doing. Their technique, and they're the old master sitting at the top of the hill telling the young guys to come down, all right, you want to challenge me? And they hit them with the two fingers, like Mr. Miyagi. And then the next thing you know, it's like, all right, he's knocked out. You got to try again sometime. But 10 years later, don't come now. Like, that's how I feel about what the Eagles been doing.
Yeah, but remember, earlier in the year in our show, I made the comment that when the NFC East is playing well, it's dangerous for the rest of the league.
This is very much true.
Because the NFC East plays big ball, right? Like Giants, they believe in big ball, like big players, D line, D bat, defense, running the ball. Philadelphia's playing NFC East style football.
Yes.
So and that's the difference, because they're balanced. That's why the three teams that beat Brady came from the NFC East.
That was the time
all the conferences.
NFC East was the creme de la creme of football at one point, correct? So it was
them or the 49ers.
Who got the most out of the AFC, NFC Super Bowls? Who has the most out of the two?
New England has 6.
I'm talking about overall. I'm talking about from when it started till now. NFC or AFC?
Like total?
It used to be the NFC used to dominate, and then it switched to the AFC for a long time until I think when Philadelphia won last.
Prior
to that, it was AFC for a long time. Prior to that, it was NFC for a long time. Because remember,
I know Pittsburgh
there was a time that the NFC Championship pretty much was the Super Bowl.
Damn.
Remember that, Byron?
You talking about when the 49ers had it?
We think about it. It was either the 49ers who won 4, right? Actually, they don't 5, but they won 4 with Montana. The Giants won 2, Dallas won 3, the Washington won 1. I mean,
damn, you're right.
Damn, that's 10 Super Bowls.
Just
in the same era.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's a lot. So and then it shifted towards the AFC. You know what I mean?
And that was with the Patriots, correct?
That's with the Patriots. Yeah.
Pittsburgh.
Pretty good Patriots, and Pittsburgh winning. Who else was in there? Didn't LA win a championship? The Raiders.
Yeah, Raiders.
Oh yeah,
the Raiders. The Raiders won a championship. So it started shifting more, and then because the AFC was always more pass oriented, anyways, than the NFC was, right?
Yeah,
and now it's becoming just a full quarterback league, right? I mean,
well, this game is going to be one with the offense and defensive line. The offensive line for Kansas City is number 1 pass blocking offense.
But man for man, if you put them all head up against each other, see, that's when they can come off and double team guys. Pick your poison, because you double team Fletcher, then I forgot his name that quick. Number 97. He's been getting loose. Hargrave. He's been getting loose. He double digits in sacks at 13, I believe. So if you don't double team Fletcher going to get him. And if you don't check that end, Hassan going to get him or Sweat going to get him. But then you still got to think about the backups behind it. Like it's ridiculous.
Mahomes going to get the ball out of his hands. That's what he's going to do. He's not going to look back.
He's going to try to quick pass it, but
and he's not healthy, and neither is Jalen. They're not both of them. One's with the ankle, and one's with the shoulder. So that's an interesting Super Bowl mix there. But I just don't think that I don't think the Kansas City's got a run game to stop, right?
But
Philadelphia's
like I said, they're gonna
got
throw a
more
lot of
guns.
screens. They're gonna throw a lot of screens.
They're gonna they have it. Well, I would if I know I'm going against the 31st ranked defense against the against running backs that receive passes. Why wouldn't I be throwing screens and wheel routes to my running backs?
Because they sitting in zones. I just said that. They're playing a 4-2-5. They sitting in zones, and you throw a screen out there, and the guy's not looking. I don't know if you remember this game, but Reggie Bush went out on a swing pass, and he didn't see.
Blown up.
Yeah, he got blown up, and he didn't see Sheldon Brown. I believe
that's the quarterback's fault. It's the quarterback's got to see that.
Oh yeah, and Reggie retired right after that.
Reggie wasn't a big guy. He wasn't a big guy to begin with.
Yeah, but he was shifty.
Yeah, no, I like Reggie Bush, but I'm just saying he wasn't a big guy to begin with, and I think he was used better at the Saints than when he was used where else he played.
Utility man, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, just it's going to come down to these lines, and I just think I still didn't think either the Bengals got the Chiefs' numbers or the Chiefs just didn't play well. I don't know. But
I think
they didn't look as good. They're not that impressive, right?
The Bengals got the shaft on that play when they gave them an extra down.
Yep.
But they knew what it was, and instead of reacting, instead of responding, they reacted.
That penalty with that linebacker killed them.
Yeah. It got to them in their head. It just shook them a little bit.
No, that mysterious 3rd down and 9 call when the referee called the whistle 40 yards.
No, he didn't blow the whistle. He just ran in there. He's supposed to blow his whistle to stop the ball and then stop the time in the play. He just ran in there without blowing his whistle. Then they said that he blew his whistle, nobody heard him. I call whatever BS. He didn't do his job. Let's just keep it like that. And instead of saying, hey, I messed up on this one, same thing like against the 49ers. Was that on the referees or was that on the coach to not get the replay call back?
Coach.
For
exactly.
On
Smith's catch.
On the Smith play, the beginning.
He made a heads-up play, but it's the fact that, hey, man.
Well, what happens is, my understanding is that they upstairs, even the refs, they're supposed to, even New York is supposed to catch that. So yes, the coach has to figure something out, but they didn't get to that angle to see it fast enough to pull the flag.
I call BS on that. How many cameras do they got on the field along with the cameras they got in the pylon?
Well, think about it. Look how long it took for us to see that shot, though.
Yeah, but you have coaches.
It took a while for us to find that.
Yeah, I'm about to say you got coaches.
That looked like a beautiful. That looked like a beautiful catch to me. Everything I saw, I thought it was a perfect catch.
I thought it was too.
You have coaches that are sitting up in the box. That's their job. If anything is even close, the call down to the head coach. Hey, I think you need to throw the flag for that one. And that should have happened. Even if you were wrong, okay, well, you lose a timeout. So what? But at least you get a chance to review it. But that's their job up there as well.
The crack was, you know what it is?
The cameraman.
He got caught up in watching the game. He wasn't doing what he's supposed to do. He's watching the game and he recognized 4th and 6. He caught the pass. Oh man! Instead of doing his job,
remember, Philadelphia got to the line really quick. Those guys have to get the angles from the cameraman. They don't have something that just switches their cameras from every single piece. It comes from the crew.
But it was a chance. It's a chance, just like you guys. If it was a chance in the snowball's hell that things could have went different for y'all, the Giants when we played you guys. I can't remember the controversial down. It was
that 3rd and 9, that 4th down that we went for.
Yeah. If it's a chance that y'all could have turned those things around, you would have did it. It's just a heads-up play by Smith. And again, the designated coach that was supposed to watch that video wasn't doing his job. And you fire that guy for that reason if you feel that strongly about losing that game.
But you also know that when Smith got up and you saw him signaling, he knew that he didn't catch the ball. As soon as you saw him doing that, you should have threw the flag.
Yeah,
because he knew he was signaling to hurry up and get to the line. Hurry up and get to the line because he knew. He knew.
I'm not mad that he did it because it was actually a smart play of him.
The
But they
smart player on
practiced. I'm
Philly's
pretty sure
side.
you guys, yeah.
They practice that. They practice
They all
to.
They
practice.
started that crap.
If there's a risk that something, because it was fourth down. So if it's fourth down, you make an incredible catch like that, quickly get to the line and call play. Don't give him a chance to even think about looking at it.
From my understanding, I think Peyton is the one that started all of that. Those phantom calls that he made, something like that. If something happens in that manner, these are the things. These are the steps that you got to take.
Well, I used to coach my receiver, but I used to coach my receivers when I coached high school. I coached the receivers. I know what happens when you're on the ground. You get up always like you caught the ball quickly. I got it. So don't let the human eye make the mistake. You understand?
Yeah, it definitely.
Just because you know you didn't catch it, they don't know that. So you get up with the ball. Yeah, hurry up, give it a ref like you caught it.
Yeah, that definitely.
I taught that 30 plus years ago.
Well,
right?
I mean,
So imagine now the pros teach at a different level, right? So and then they got the plays to know that if there's a fourth down and it's even questionable, quickly we'll get to the line and run the play.
Just because they get paid
And
don't mean they know what's going on.
And they didn't even have to challenge it. They could have just called timeout.
They should have, but for whatever reason, the 49ers don't use their timeouts. They just don't. It's always been historically just been that way. Well, at least the coach, he just never used his timeouts like that.
Yeah, because that was major. That was fourth, and they had the ball, and they would have had good field position.
Hey, man, listen, when you come in here with a big stick swinging it, thinking that you're going to come in here and be a bully, and then you realize that you got a toothpick. You know what I'm saying? You came in, you thought you had a big
look, dude, you got to give the 49ers credit. The first half, their defense played well.
No. Hold on. So slow down. Hold on now. Wait a minute. No, they didn't. And I'm going to tell you why. Second play of the game, the Eagles decided I don't know if you watched the game closely like I did, but second play of the game, what happened on the second play of the game? The Eagles ran the ball for 8 yards. How do you do that knowing that you're supposed to be the more superior physical team? You're not supposed to be able to do that to no team. I don't care how far they coming or where they going. There was one play, but
so what? So what? What McCaffrey ran right through your team.
He ran through, but at the
end he ran through you. And he's a little guy, so it's one play. Stop one play.
McCaffrey is not a little guy. He is not a little guy. Don't do that.
He's like 5'8", dude. He's like,
and he can run. That little white guy can run. He got some little. Don't act like he can't bring the pain.
I didn't say that. I think he's phenomenal, but he's still a little guy, and he ran through you.
Hey,
and you guys got a great defense. So each defense got a chance to give
I'm not making no excuses.
And the play
that he ran was a wham.
And
it was basically
the score that shouldn't happened. It was still 7-0 for pretty much the entire first half.
No, they didn't want to tackle. After going back to the play that I'm talking about, after Warner got hurt, he subbed out. They put somebody else in. They didn't want to tackle until Warner came back. Warner actually was the first person to get injured in the game before the quarterback and the next quarterback after that. So their heart was already taken. It was just a matter of time. And you're right. McCaffrey, he is a bad boy. I ain't gonna hold you.
Yeah, that's right.
But they ran that wham play. I was like, damn.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yo, this is on.
All right.
But that still don't explain why Sanders was breaking them off for 40-yard touchdowns. That don't explain that. It don't explain why.
Well, dude, I guess you missed the early part. I mean, they had the time of possession for Philly was like an entire quarter more than 49ers. They ran how many?
Yeah, they were done. Yeah, they was cooked.
They ran almost double the amount of plays.
Like 70 plays?
Yeah, I mean, so there's a point where you're gonna get tired.
They were cooked.
And then imagine you're on defense. You got to try to make something happen because your offense is doing zero. The guy could only hand it off.
But another question about that is whose fault is that? Is that the coach or is that the GM? Because from my understanding, Jimmy G was ready to play. They told him to sit down over there, and they signed Josh Johnson up.
I didn't
and
know.
let him play instead. And he wasn't prepared.
Byron, did you hear that? That Jimmy G was available? I thought he was still injured.
No, he wasn't injured. They said he wasn't. Well, I watched the Eagles channel, so it's probably just biased to that. But they were saying that he was ready to play. He was ready to go. And they told him no, because what's his name? Purdy. They didn't want Purdy to feel like with Jimmy G being there, that it was a chance that he'll be hovering over his back if things went wrong.
Things went wrong. Things went wrong.
And then they showed pictures of Jimmy G standing there next to Trey, and they're giggling and shit. I mean, giggling and stuff. And we all looking like, why y'all giggling? Y'all getting y'all behinds kicked. Or this is the reason why. So
it's interesting. I got to read up on that one because I didn't hear.
Yeah, I'll send it. I'll send it to Coach.
It's already known that Jimmy G is not going to be there next year.
Yeah, they already threw that out there. Like he's not. They're not going to retain him.
They're going to part. Well, I mean, like Byron said, it's too much money. You know, you got a kid that can back up Trey Lance that for $1 million a year. You know.
Well, the thing is about Jimmy G string is the fact that you guys had him and he got him to the Super Bowl. Then y'all dissed him by going to go get Trey, and then when Trey broke his leg, then y'all begged him to come back. And then when he came back, he got injured, and instead of treating him, I'm not saying like royalty, but treating him correctly, then y'all got Purdy, and it's like, all right, Jimmy G string, get over there. Ain't nobody got no time for you right now. That's not how you treat people, especially when they go out their way to try to help you out.
Well, I'm glad Eric said that. You heard that, Byron, because that's what I've been preaching the whole time. Is I don't understand what's the deal. Jimmy G's in the high, if not over 600 winning percentage, and he's just getting consistently treated like
trash, like he did
bad.
He don't deserve that.
Yeah, he gets treated bad, so he's going to be somewhere. I mean, I'm not worried about that.
New York Jets.
Yeah.
Man, hey, let me ask you a question.
I wouldn't play for the Jets.
Who's your backup?
Tyrod Taylor.
Who?
Tyrod Taylor.
Or
now, let me ask you a question. At this time, at this day, I'm not gonna hold y'all up because I don't know what time the show ends.
Now we got to wrap this up now. But go ahead.
Okay, all right. But I just wanted to know if Carson's out there on a wire, which
Carson
y'all
who?
Carson who? You know who I'm talking about? It's only one Carson.
That's the only one Carson I won't even want to talk about.
I
ain't going Carson.
Johnny Carson. Bud Carson.
Johnny Carson.
You made fun of me last week when I compared him to when I had him as a comparison to Burrows, only from winner against loser and nothing personal Wentz. That's all I was saying. Like the guy's got all the talent, he's got everything in the world possible, but there's something innately wrong with that guy that he cannot win, and he loses at Indianapolis. He's lost everywhere. So I would have kept Tyler Henneke. Oh yeah, Carson Wentz. That's more. I don't even You say something else, Byron. I want to end the show. That's a jinx. Don't mention
I want to get the show cut off, right?
Yeah, don't mention that guy. Don't mention that guy's name in the Giants in the same breath. No way. I wouldn't mind. Daniel Jones. Did he sign his contract?
Who?
Did Daniel Jones get a contract?
No. They're working on Saquon Barkley first.
They're working. Oh, really? You're working on Saquon?
That's
Saquon's going to get a nice one. Then Daniel will get his. I'm pretty happy. They got to fix the line.
I never heard him work on a running back contract before the actual quarterback. That's new.
Well, Saquon.
But y'all keep doing what y'all doing. Don't worry about it.
Saquon had a great year.
Don't worry about it. Everything run through Philly. Don't worry about it.
It's okay. He's still got to run through the Giants, though. I'm not worried about that.
The G-men are coming.
Yeah, we're coming, dude. I mean, we'll give you your time. You still only got one.
Did you guys already give y'all scores? Because I'm ready. I'm ready to go. Did y'all give y'all scores for the Super Bowl already?
No, we're gonna do that next week.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I'm already gonna say the Eagles going to win in a blowout again. What? No, I don't see that face moving. All right, the Eagles going to win in a blowout again. Fly, Eagles, fly. Eagles.
Eagles! All right. Well, listen, I just want to thank you guys for joining the Sportscast. Don't forget to subscribe to our channels on all your social media. You could subscribe to Sportscast on Twitter, YouTube, Spotify. We're even on smart speakers. We are here streaming live every Thursday at what time, Byron?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. p.m. every Thursday. Next week we'll be talking about the pre-Super Bowl. I'm excited because they put up big screen TV by our swimming pool today, so I'm getting ready for that one, and we're excited. Yeah, I always love the Super Bowl. I hate the afterwards, but I'm also happy with the way the Giants played this year. I'm happy with how the NFC East played. That's a good sign for the NFC East, and it's a good sign for us all to get better. And I'm rooting for the Eagles, right? I want the NFC East to win, as long as it ain't Dallas.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
If it was Dallas, I'd go for Kansas
Oh
City.
man, I ain't watching.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, gentlemen, thank you very much. Eric, as always, you're a pleasure to have you on. Congratulations, your Eagles. Hopefully you can take it all. That would be nice for the city.
Yes,
I think
sir.
Sirianni's done a hell of a job in the few years that he's done there. And you guys have rebuilt again and you're back in the Super Bowl. So, that's something that's pretty big. And now I think that was your first Super Bowl, right? When Foles won?
Yeah, the ones you guys count. Nobody else count the other couples that we had in 60, what was it, 46 and all that. They weren't called world. They were called world champions.
So in the modern Super Bowl era, that was your first Super Bowl. Okay, good.
Yes, sir.
That means we've got a Super Bowl. Everyone in our conference has won at least one Super Bowl.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. As a present.
Well,
all right.
We coming up on 2. Don't worry about it. We'll be there.
That's okay. We got 4 and we got a few more coming.
Okay.
All right, gentlemen. Well, good night. Thank you for watching Jersey Boy Sports Talk, for all of you that are out there, and stay safe. God bless. And wasn't today or yesterday the first day of Black History Month?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Shout out Black History Month. Everybody's made a big difference and major impact. I think you two gentlemen are stand up and represent African Americans and Black people, and let's continue to love each other. As the way Byron and I grew up, it took us to get out of our town to see something different, right, Byron? I just wish our country would come to realization. The only time we rally is when we're in the Olympics. All of a sudden everybody's American, no matter what it is.
World Cup, and the soccer too. World Cup.
Well, it's a little different, but you know how I feel about that. All right, gentlemen, you have a good night. God bless you and your families, and peace and love to everybody. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.